You think investing in stocks is smart? What if I told you having 6 months of food is the best investment that you can make? In August of 2024, we saw egg prices at about $3 a dozen. Now, the price has skyrocketed and we're seeing the average cost. This chart says $7 a dozen, but I've seen them as high as $14. So how do we build up our 6-month reserve of food? So many people want to go out and buy beans or rice or whatever it is, but they don't eat that in their diet regularly. So what's the point of that? We want to be buying things that we know that we're going to eat, and so they're not going to waste just stored up in our pantry. So if I was going to start my 6-month food supply, I would simply be buying what I like to eat. So for me, that's chicken, rice, and vegetables. I eat that 90% of the time. A little bit of ground beef in there, a little bit of red meat that we get from the cows. But if I'm buying stuff at the store, I can get a 25-pound bag of rice for 26 bucks or something. So it's roughly $1 a pound. And I think when you put a pound of rice to the rice maker, that equals 4 pounds of rice. I think it's a 1 to 4. And having that food stored up in the freezer or in bulk, or I can buy wheat berries. We've talked about grinding your own grain before, and I can store that in bulk for whenever I want it. So the chicken, rice, and vegetable meals that I eat on the regular, I'm like well under $5 a meal for that. And that's like 4 ounces of chicken, 80 grams of rice, and 220 grams of vegetables. So when I go to the grocery store, I'm typically buying between $100 to $150 worth of stuff. At 10% cost increase, now that 150 becomes 165. At 10% more of that, now we're close to the 180s. So this growth and percentage rise can really affect your wallet negatively. The way to get into anything is dollar cost averaging. Taking and buying the same amount of material at regular intervals so you're not affected as much by the price swings. If the price goes down, you get to buy a little bit more. If the price goes up, your purchasing power decreases a little bit, but you're still storing food for a rainy day. So if every week you normally spend about 200 bucks on groceries and you push that to 220, let's say, it'll take you roughly 10 weeks before you have 1 week saved up. Now, sure, that sounds like a lot of money, but think of the peace of mind that you will know that, hey, there's no chicken on the shelves, there's no eggs on the shelves. Thankfully, I have some stored up. That's the biggest return, is knowing where your food is coming from while you're paying yourself to be eating food. If you buy that same produce now, who knows what the price will be in the future, but we're locking in relatively cheap prices so that we can benefit from having that food easily accessible. It's the same, it's the Costco model, it's the Sam's Club model. Buying in bulk lets us save more and put money towards other things. Think about the returns that, say, if you've got 4 friends together and bought a whole cow from a local farmer, not only are you eliminating some of those middlemen that add cost to the food, but you're ensuring that you have cheaper meat because you've bought in bulk. Now, a lot of people don't have the use for 2,000 pounds of cow meat, particularly over a year. I know I'm not eating 2,000 pounds of cow meat over the course of a year. But the way that we can still benefit from buying in bulk is by having friends and going in collectively on things. That's how we can shield ourselves from rising cost of food. So with that being said, I really want you to become a part of our homesteading community. I don't succeed unless you succeed. We have assembled like-minded people that are committed to building abundance for themselves, their families, and their communities. Whether you're in the planning, the building, or have a full-fledged, raging community, this is the one-stop shop for you to get the homesteading knowledge and build connections with the people around you.